Some people would like to think that mediumship or psychic phenomena is something that should behave in a very mechanical manner, that it should give the same type of results every time. Unfortunately, nothing can be further from the truth. Every reading is different. Some are grand slams, some are mediocre, some are like pulling teeth, and there are times when nothing comes through and you feel like a complete failure. But that's what happens when you deal with something as enigmatic and mysterious as consciousness. An example of this comes in the next reading. Me and my sitter Debbie from Germany at first couldn't figure out who was coming through. Then after narrowing it down to Debbie's father-in-law, there was the additional problem of not being able to validate some of the information right away. This can be challenging because as a medium, we want to know if we are on the right track. Take a look.
I feel like I have a male energy coming forward to me, and he's very, very gentle sort of personality to me. And what he does is he drags me over to what I would see as the left side of your body. And this is usually father's side of the family. Is father here or is he passed?
No, he's here.
He's here. Okay. Would you understand then his father or somebody of that? Let me go a little bit further. I need him to give me more information. This gentleman here is talking to me about having some lower abdomen center issues going on with him. I think towards the end there, before he was passing. I'm still on a father's side of the family. Kind of down, let me see.
When you say father's side, does that also include, like, for instance, like I'm married, would that also be my husband's father's side? Or
Yes, it very well could. Let me get more information. Would you understand this gentleman being really a pleasant sort of chap and having issues down in the abdomen area?
The abdomen one, I'm not sure of now.
Okay. Again, I got to come to the I don't want to go upper chest, but I am abdomen with this person, and I am very forcefully trying to get myself through here now. I also need to acknowledge that there was some issues going on with my head, and when I say my head, this could also mean that I had problems with my cognizance or things like that. I don't know if there was a stroke involved, but there's also something that goes on with my head. I also feel like there is this sense of being separate or disconnected. So this would also make me think that this individual was not necessarily close or nearby or connected geographically. Would you understand that?
The geographic part makes sense because we actually weren't in the country at the time.
Okay.
And we got to the news, and it was at a distance.
Would you also understand him having a hobby or something to do that was very intricate with his fingers? And I keep working with my fingers, and it's one finger at a time. So I don't know if this is typing or if this is playing a particular, what this is, but it has to do with my fingers in particular, because he just keeps, or even playing the piano. It's one of those kinds of things where it's a very intricate nature with the fingers. Okay. Now, besides him, though, there is a brother connected to your husband. Is that correct?
My husband has a brother, right, which is here.
Would you be able to understand the brother being closer to father around the time of his passing?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, he was here and we weren't. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, good. He's back with his own mother, but I need to also send my regard. Now, this is interesting. I need to send my regards to mother. And that's interesting. He says, send my regards. So would you be able to understand that when he was here, your husband's father, there was either some sort of strain in the relationship with his mom, or he just wasn't the type of person to really express emotionally his love towards her. Would you understand that?
Oh no, they hadn't really talked for a long time. Yeah. They were separated.
They were separated. Okay, yeah, because he just says, "Give my regards," and I'm not getting "give me love." Just give her my regards. I'm like, okay, now that's interesting. But he does want to remember her. there some kind of connection that you'd want to remember around the end of March, around March 28th?
End of March. March 28th.
I may be off by a day or two, but I keep getting my awareness drawn towards the end of March, like the last week of March. So that's just something that's just passed. So I need to acknowledge whatever that particular thing is. I don't know if there was some kind of...
I'm not sure, but I'll bring that up to my husband.
Yeah, I don't know if there was a particular thing that happened with his memorial or something there that is towards the end of March. To me, it feels like there's something being given, being planted, being something connected to his memorial.
Okay, I think I have an idea of what it could be. It's kind of complicated, so it would be hard to get across, I guess.
Okay, as long as you but is it connected to his memory?
Yes.
Okay, that works for me because he wants to attach it to him. So I need to acknowledge that. Is there also a sister connected to him as well?
Yes.
Yeah, I need to put a female next to him that I want to remember. So I need to remember my daughter. I need to remember my female connection here as well. And now, when it comes to the daughter, he pulls her out a little bit. Did she take his passing harder than the rest?
She ended up with a lot of the responsibility.
Okay.
Because we were out of town, and the other brother didn't have, he didn't want to deal with it, and so
Right.
yeah, it was a lot of her responsibility, and she was really stressed out about it.
Okay. Yes. Thank you. That's what I wanted to acknowledge is the stress, because he pulls her out. He puts all this weight around her. Let your husband know that his father is well, that he's fine, that he sends his love.
I'm sure you can see there was some struggle with the information there. I originally walked away from the session feeling like it was, for the most part, a dud. Fortunately, Debbie emailed later that day with some amazing clarification. Remember the problem with the abdomen?
This gentleman here is talking to me about having some lower abdomen center issues. I don't want to go upper chest, but I am abdomen with this person.
Debbie said in the email that I didn't know this. He could eat by himself, but he also had a feeding tube for extra nighttime nutrition and medications attached through the abdomen. Is this what he was referring to? We can only speculate, but he was pretty adamant about having an issue down there. And remember the head issues.
That there was some issues going on with my head. And when I say my head, this could also mean that I had problems with my cognizance or things like that. I don't know if there was a stroke involved, but there's also...
Turns out he did sustain a serious stroke earlier in his life, which impaired his speech and left him partially paralyzed, which leads us to the mentioning of the hand. Remember this?
I also understand him having a hobby or something to do that was very intricate with his fingers. I keep working with my fingers, and it's one finger at a time.
Debbie wrote, I didn't understand this part, but it's one of the strongest validations for my husband. His arm and hand on the right side were paralyzed, so he used his left hand and fingers to try to communicate. He'd hold up his hand and show one finger at a time, like someone would do when counting, in an attempt to somehow talk. He did this all the time, and it was a very strong characteristic. And then the end of March connection.
Is there some kind of connection that you'd want to remember around the end of March, around March 28th? To me, it feels like there's something being given, being planted, being something connected to his memorial.
Debbie told me, yes, on March 30th, my husband planted some flowers on our balcony in memory of his father. Sometimes what seems the most difficult can actually bring out the best evidence. Not everything in the reading made sense. Some of it couldn't be placed, and this can happen when we feel frazzled or off track. In the end, the effort of Debbie's father-in-law in spirit was not in vain. He got through, he made himself known, and I'm thankful to him and to Debbie for following up with her husband and letting me know his love and memories came through. If you've enjoyed this video, please share it with your friends. Like me on Facebook at Jeffrey Marks Author and follow me on Twitter. Remember, you were born a perfect spirit, so be sure to have a spirited day. See you next time.